Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for waiting. And look, what we saw on the floor makes it clear the Republicans are following Donald Trump's orders to the letter. Stonewall, scapegoat, shirk responsibility. They're doing exactly what Trump told them to do. And then they skip town. No plans, no talks, no urgency. And the House adjourned till October 1st. If there were ever a sign that the Republicans wanted a shutdown, that's it. Now, our bill, of the two bills, our bill was the only bill on the floor that got a majority of those present and voting. Theirs did not, ours did. Donald Trump would rather shut down the government than even talk to Democrats about lowering the cost of health care for Americans, which is what is our goal. And Republicans, unfortunately, sadly, dutifully obeyed. Senate Republicans just voted to shut the government down with a partisan bill that gives Donald Trump everything he wants and nothing the American people need. Donald Trump says he doesn't want to talk. He's still in the go-to-hell mode. His marching orders to Republicans are don't even bother with Democrats. That is not governing. That's a recipe for a shutdown. And the American people know it. Well, neither bill was able to pass. The theater must end. Let's sit down and negotiate. Now that it's clear that neither bill will get the 60 votes that the Senate needs, it's time to negotiate. The theater must end. The last 4 years, when Democrats were in the majority, we didn't have a shutdown because we always worked with the Republicans. We knew we needed their votes. When Democrats had the majority, no shutdown. Republicans have the majority. They seem to be headed for one, but we hope and pray that they will now see that the only way to avoid a shutdown is negotiate with Democrats, which is how we've always done it. We have only a week left. We're saying clearly, let's sit down, let's figure this out. But Republicans have now left town with no sign they want to avoid a shutdown in a week. They left town. Donald Trump is the shutdown president, and Senate Republicans are following him over the cliff. The stakes are real. A shutdown is devastating to Americans. Democrats are doing everything we can to sit down and negotiate. We do not want a shutdown. Our position has never changed. We need bipartisan legislation to keep the government open and meet the needs of the American people, especially on costs, specifically health care costs. But until Republicans break free from Donald Trump's grip, they're dragging this country straight into another shutdown. We remain ready to work together to fund the government and implore Republicans to come to the table. Patty.
Well, and Amy has a fight, so she should
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Chuck. And I hope people noticed that the vote that got the majority, that had the higher numbers, were actually our proposal because so many Republicans didn't show up today. Not show up when the American people are seeing their premiums skyrocketing, when, in fact, the president over and over again has told the public the last few weeks they don't need Democratic votes, can go it alone. Well, we're not going it alone because we are standing with the American people. You look at what happened here with the ACA healthcare tax credits before they expire, more than 20 million Americans for the Affordable Care Act tax credits are going to see their premiums soar. Because of the big, beautiful betrayal of the bill, we've seen Americans lose their health coverage. We see rural hospitals already shutting down. And what we're asking them to do right now is to negotiate, to come to the table, to talk to Senator Schumer, to talk to Senator Murray, like they have always done, and to not shut this down. It's on them. And of course we're going to stand with the American people. I don't know who they're talking to when they go home, because the people I talk to, I'm going to nearly finish my 87-county tour of Minnesota next week. The people I talk to, they're like, what is going on here? This is not what I signed up for in the rural areas. So that's what this fight is about.
Thank you, Amy. And I must say, I do 62 counties every year, and I'm not even
How big are your counties?
finished. she's already at 80. She's ready to do 87.
Yes.
Listen, every single senator had a very simple choice. Vote for a bill to responsibly fund the government and address the healthcare crisis. Republicans chose to sit on their hands or not even show up, rather than lift a finger to address the healthcare crisis they themselves created. People in my state are going to get letters in the mail next month letting them know that their premiums are set to skyrocket next year. Hospitals in my state are already closing and laying off staff, and around the both in my state and around the country, because of these Republican health care cuts. To the American people, Democrats are fighting to repeal the cuts, to lower your costs, and to save your health care. To my Republican colleagues, inaction is not an option. If you want Democratic votes, you need to work with us. Compromise is a very basic principle every American understands. And if Republicans don't bother working with Democrats just because Donald Trump said so, it will be a Republican shutdown. Republicans control all of government, the House, the Senate, the White House. The American people know who to blame. The bare minimum here is for Republican leadership to simply sit down with Democratic leadership to hammer out a path forward. Now they're leaving town instead of sitting down with Democrats to lower health care costs and stop our hospitals from closing. Leader Thune, I am asking, keep the Senate in session so we can hammer out a deal to keep government open and prevent Americans' premiums from skyrocketing. We should choose a better path. We should fund the government, fix health care crisis, and avert a Trump shutdown. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Schatz.
I'm still a little flabbergasted that they couldn't generate a majority for their own proposal and that we're just over a week from a potential government shutdown. And I am more than a little flabbergasted that the House just decided after a 6-week recess to take another recess and come back after the end of the federal fiscal year. Just now, Republicans voted to jack up health care premiums for millions of Americans, and the choice was very simple. We either work together to extend these tax credits and save millions of Americans from losing their health care, or Republicans can go it alone, and people are going to get these letters in a matter of weeks saying, your subsidies are gone, and you're going to pay $200, $300, $400, $500 more per person per month. This is not an abstraction. This is not an allegation. This is not a political talking point. This is what is going to happen to millions of Americans in blue and red and purple places all across the country. And what we're saying is that this is avoidable. What we're saying is that people are about to experience an intense amount of financial pain and probably lose their health care. And we just want to fix this. So Republicans need to come to the table and negotiate with us. That's the way to pass a bill.
Senator Booker.
So here's the thing that we all know in this room is that most Americans are not following the backs and forths of what's happening in Washington. What most Americans, unfortunately, right now are concerned with is that they're struggling with economic pain. Prices are going up on everything from groceries to child seats. Prices are going up on everything from energy costs to health care. There are a lot of Americans who may not be following what's happening between Democrats and Republicans in Washington, but they know that their lives are becoming more difficult, that they're finding it harder to make ends meet, and there's a lot of fear about not just the health care cuts that have already happened, but the impending doom of health care cuts that are about to happen. And so Senate Democrats are simply standing together here in the Senate. And we're saying we're going to stand and fight for the things that Americans care about. They want their elected officials, be they Republicans, Democrats, or independents, to do something about the pain that they're feeling, to do something about rising costs, and to do something about the challenges Americans are facing in the millions and millions in losing health care and losing access to health care. And so that's what we're doing right now. We want the Republicans to stay in town and sit at a table and negotiate and work with us to do something about the mounting concerns of so many Americans. Right now, Republicans are leaving town when there is work to do on the issues that Americans care about.
Thank you, Cory. Just to repeat again, the fact that the House adjourned till October 1st, that shows you it's clear evidence that they want to shut down. We don't. Yes.
Do you think that your decision in March to basically not get much in return for avoiding a shutdown then, made it easier for them to make this play call now and say, let's just do a straight CR and make them?
Absolutely not. First, as you saw, the only bill that got a majority of those voting was our bill, not their bill. But second, the world has totally changed from March. First, people have seen the damage the Republicans are doing. The reconciliation bill just decimated health care. Tariffs are now in effect and raising people's costs. Their costs are going up left and right. So they're very, very unhappy with what is happening. Second, we Democrats had plenty of time to be prepared. Our message has been the same for the last 2-3 months, which is we need health care. We need to restore Americans' health care, and we need to get down their costs, and we don't need them to break the law and undo anything the Appropriations Committee did. And third, we have seen the unlawfulness of the Trump administration after March, with the rescissions, with the impoundments, with the pocket rescissions. So the world's a different place right now. Yes?
What's your plan now that this bill is failed?
We want to sit down and negotiate. I think it's clear when you look at the votes on the floor of the House, or the Senate rather, that a negotiation is the only way to avoid a shutdown. We want to do it. So far they don't. We hope they change their minds. Yes?
The president feels like he's pretty comfortable with his position here because you all are asking him to add something to a CR. Why do you seem also very confident that Republicans are going to be the ones who are blamed for this?
Absolutely.
Taking the votes against the continuing.
No, the bottom line is that they, by not negotiating, are causing the shutdown. And that is plain. And as I said before, when we had the majority, we negotiated with them, there was no shutdown. They're in the majority, they don't negotiate, they cause the shutdown, plain and simple. And what they did today by adjourning the House October 1st, it's becoming clearer and clearer to Americans. They want it. Yes.
Yeah, so Schumer, a lot of the complaints from the Democrats today sound very much like the Republican complaints in 2013 heading into that shutdown. They were insisting on negotiations over health care. They wanted to roll back the ACA. Obama
Yep.
said they wouldn't negotiate. We ended up with a
Here's what's different. They were taking something away. We're trying to restore something that they took away. It's a world of difference when you're trying to do some good from people rather than doing negative stuff for people. Okay? Yes.
Why can't you negotiate these healthcare provisions after, separate?
We've been asking for months to do it. Why not do it now? People are hurting. Jobs are being lost. People are getting notices that their health care premiums are going up. People are losing health care. Do it now. There's no reason not to do it now. Let's do it now. Thank you, everybody.